Welcome to another episode of Aussies taking over the NBA after a short hiatus. Obviously, I had a kid. I had to announce it to everyone.
Yep.
It's pretty cool. Just chilling out. There's been a lot happening, though, over the last couple of weeks. Mitch Creek signed a 10-day with the Wolves.
Yep.
Gave up
playoffs. G League.
Playoffs. Pretty crazy. I don't think he's even seen the court at all, which is a bit of a shame.
Yeah.
You know, tough,
especially if you're not going down a postseason run kind of thing. If you're just going there to play some garbage time and you don't really get much out of it, because let's be honest, it's garbage time for the T-Wolves.
It's really make up the numbers type thing. It's less than garbage time. It's really not even he's just making up numbers.
Yeah, I
don't think he's even got near the rotation. I think two other guys haven't even got near the rotation for the T-Wolves. But yeah, no, good for him to get a guaranteed deal. I read some people sort of were saying he's guaranteed till the end of the season, like with Humphreys. I'm like, yeah, there's 6 days left in the season.
Yeah, I know. It's like 2 games. It's a game, I think, for Atlanta.
Yeah. So, yeah, well, sweet. Guaranteed to the end of the season. No, it's good stuff, but it was only a 10-day. Obviously, yeah, Isaac Humphreys signing that 10-day for the Hawks. Started today, I believe,
he did.
Well against
Started
the Bucks.
And played about 17 minutes, I think. So
yeah, baptism of fire against the Bucks. Lopez and Giannis, that's got to be a tough ask. And then any other news we've got to get to at all?
A bit of a cloud prospect over the Celtics, obviously with Tatum going down as well as Smart. They're going into kind of a depleted, weird-looking Pacers team in the playoffs.
Yeah.
That's going to be a weird series.
They've just played them twice too, and I think they've beaten them both times.
Yes, they've beaten them both times. So I don't know. Interesting. But in terms of Aussies, obviously we're going to be saying goodbye to Ryan Broekhoff and Dengadell and Delhi.
Yeah. Delhi still hasn't come back from his concussion.
That's scary, man. What's going on there.
I don't know, because they're a tanking team. It doesn't really matter as well. Like,
just rest him for the rest of the season.
You know, keep him out. It's all good. But from all reports, really, no good info has come out of that. Like, no, he's all right. We're just keeping him out. They're kind of saying, no, it's still in concussion protocol, which is a bit of a worry. I haven't heard any news.
Yeah.
A bit scary for our end of season Aussie prospects if he's going to line up and suit up in the green and gold. That's a bit of a worry.
Definitely.
I don't know. Was there anything else really that we needed to go through? We've got a lot of games. We're going to go all the way through until the Wednesday Nuggets Warriors, the blockbuster top of the table. Top of the West clash.
This internet's
struggling.
We're
going to just power through, or what? We'll get some sweet internet. So are we powering on?
We'll power on. Fuck it, let's go.
Yeah,
if you guys can't hear us on Facebook, again, very much apologize, but you can download our podcast anytime on iTunes, SoundCloud. We'll put it up on YouTube as an audio file as well, so you guys can check it out. Any good podcast app, Pod Addict, Podman, all those kind of things you'll be able to download Aussies taking over the NBA from. We're going to really go through a whole bunch of games today, as well as talk about some of the lead-in teams, and I think really, because I think everything's set now in terms of an Aussie perspective. Spurs most likely to play either the Nuggets or the Warriors. Probably the Warriors at this stage.
It's possibly the Clippers might finish 8th now. They're all on the same amount of wins.
Yeah, it's all on the same amount. So it's kind of up in the air about where that will be. But the East is pretty much set. 76ers will play either Orlando or the Nets.
Yeah, and they were looking like they might have played the Pistons too. So I think the Pistons might even get knocked off.
Could even get knocked out.
Yeah, by the Heat, if the Heat win their last 2 games. Are they playing the Heat? I think they might even be playing the Heat as well.
No, Sixers are playing Heat.
They're playing the... they played the Hornets today, yeah.
Yes. So the Sixers play the Heat next game, which is not tomorrow, but in a couple of days. So they're guaranteed 3rd spot now, 50 wins, probably getting to around about that 52 mark. I would say they will beat the Heat. I would say they're going to...
Is that the Philly?
Yeah, Philly.
Yeah.
And I say they're going to probably beat a very, very lacking, depleted Bulls team, which has no one in it. Walter Lemon Jr.
Yeah, he's pretty good, though. He came from the Celtics. I watched him play at the Celtics in the G League, and he was a pretty good guard.
Yeah, they've all kind of just signed up G League players to play out their last few games. The teams that are just like, nah, we're over it. Nothing to win here, people. Move along.
Yeah, so the Pistons are sitting in 8th. Orlando's already qualified. So it is Miami, Charlotte, and Detroit kind of all duking it out. I don't know about the tie-break situation. On
we really want Thon to obviously play some postseason because that's what we've been wrapping him up as a postseason player because, man, lately he's been terrible for Detroit.
It's been a bit... Oh, no. Look, up and down. Like, I think...
He's not a scoring option. He kind of is not setting the pick properly. He's very raw. For a third-year player that's played in a good...
Yeah, I think...
They're playing with the right position, I think. He's playing backup minutes for Griffin at 4. I think that playing at the 5 is completely lost on him. He's a stretch 4 at best. And
they don't run much pick and roll action, really. Like, it's a lot of Blake Griffin, toss it to Blake Griffin.
Oh, it's a lot of the back down us.
And even Drummond, for a 7-footer, like, you would expect Drummond to have a lot more to his game. And even he doesn't really. He's very temperamental too, kind of struggles a little bit. But like I was saying to you over text... Every bad defensive highlight I seem to see on the Pistons, it's always Thon, and he's always getting caught up in these bad highlights, and you're just like, oh, man. Like, but really, their defense is not great. Like, all around the court, it's not great. But, you know, whatever, man. Unleash. He got a couple of really good blocks, actually, the other day.
He's a block hunter. But, man, Bolden is looking crazy good.
Yeah.
3-ball hitting it like clockwork. Defending really good. Playing in the 4 as well with Embiid on the floor, and doesn't get in Embiid's way because he's not a paint player. So you got these 2 long guys playing some good D, even though Philly had gone on a bit of a losing streak. But we'll get into the first game, again it's Cavs and Bucks. There was no Delly and no Dang. And
Bucks just get a routine win.
Yeah.
So should we talk about the Bucks at all? Like, they're going to finish top of the East.
They're going to finish top of the East.
Nobody really called that. They were kind of, this could go either way. Like, it's a little bit like Utah and Dallas, Lakers. It could go either way. Like, even the Nuggets and the Trailblazers is what I'm looking for. Trailblazers the end of last year was very... this could just fall over and become absolute shit, or it could.
Well, it did.
Oh wow, it's worked, and they've nearly 50 wins, 51 wins. So I think the Bucks, like, no one could have seen this coming, really.
Oh no, but we didn't. We knew Giannis was going to be up there,
but you just never knew. Man. You never knew. Like last year, you saw it, and you were like, "Oof!" Like if someone could unlock this. But a lot of people are going back. Like, he fell to 20th. Like, what the hell? Like, bad GMs, like, not picking up. But you should have seen him in that draft, man.
He was like scrawny, yeah.
Looked like Thon.
He looked like he was only 6'9" as well.
He's grown. I think he's grown to 7 foot. I think his wingspan's gone out by like an inch and a half.
Yeah, well. So
he's like it's. From what I've seen over the last 5-10 years. It's less about how good one player is now. It's about how much growth can one player have that complements the whole team now. Like Curry.
Yeah,
you've seen it with Curry.
Yeah, it's how gimmicky a player can be. I mean, obviously not Steph Curry because he's the greatest shooter of all time, but Giannis is a gimmick. Like, there's this guy who essentially no one can guard. No one. Yeah. No one can guard.
Embiid tried. We'll get to that, but Embiid tried.
Embiid tried and failed a little bit. No one can guard him. So it's like, well, he's guaranteed 40 points a night in that respect because all he has to do is get into the paint and someone's going to foul him or lock him up. So he's guaranteed 40 points a night. So all you have to do is either foul him, or I think where teams like the Sixers, potentially the Raptors, or even the Celtics, or even if they make it out, Golden State will do, is that let Giannis have his way, let him have his 45 points and run everyone off the line.
Well, that's kind of
what Philly have been doing. Like, he's been running up 50-point games, but it's been very close. Whereas you look at I think they've had 50 plus wins over double digits against teams. So I think you let Giannis do what he needs to do, try and lock him down in the paint, frustrate him with a few fouls and so forth, and then just run everyone off the line.
Yeah.
If you do that, you're in chance. I think that's the only way you can defend them.
I think it depends what Giannis is doing. Like last year in that playoff series against the Celtics, like if you could feel Giannis wasn't quite there yet, and it was an individual thing. Like
he's there. He's
now he's there this whole season. But the other part is like the next step. You have to take the next step. Like even like first time teams making it to playoffs don't always take the next step straight away. It takes them a few years. So that's fine too. Like 60 wins is a lot of wins, but they still have to take that next step.
Yeah, they still have to take the next step. And they've got Brogdon's not playing. They haven't, their depth.
Mirotic is out as well.
Mirotic is out. Their depth is not been great.
It's been
okay.
Without Giannis, though, it's just like, ooh, what is this team?
Without Giannis, there is no team.
They played Brooklyn yesterday. I watched that game, and it's like totally different team, relying on Middleton. Even Middleton, I think, doesn't quite complement this Giannis thing.
Well, he does because he's a 40% three-point shooter, which is what you want. He's not in a team where he could run a conventional, put the ball on the floor and get to the rim as well as a three. He would look better.
Yeah, as a singular scorer,
Yeah, but he's not.
It doesn't really complement what they're doing with Giannis. And sometimes he struggles. Like I saw, like against Brooklyn, he was like killing it down the end of that game. And even like Bledsoe, where there's points where Bledsoe looks a bit like, ooh, this doesn't fit. Like, what the hell's going on here? But then obviously Giannis is just such a freak that when he's out.
But the player that does complement is Brook Lopez.
Yeah, just fire from anywhere.
And just like, fuck.
How's he making these shots, man?
Where is he? Crazy. Why is he pulling up from the paint?
He just gets the ball wherever he is on the court. He just gets the ball, raises up.
He's got such a high release as well. It's very, very hard to block.
It's hard when he's on the perimeter. Yeah, just switches out on guards.
I think teams need to realize that you put the player under pressure to shoot, but the likelihood that you're ever going to get a block, I think Simmons leads the league in 3-point shots blocked.
Oh, really?
Yes.
That's pretty good.
And it's only like 7.
Yeah, it's not many.
No.
Because a lot of the time it's either a foul or...
It's a foul or they miss or, but Simmons obviously blocked Harden. He's had a few good...
that was good.
But that's it really, because he's quick, he's long, and he can jump. But everyone else, you're just going to foul them more times than you're going to block it. So it's more about putting them under pressure to change the shot mechanics rather than that. And that's what you need to do with this Bucks team. You need to run them off the line and clog the center so Giannis has to go around.
And that's such a tough ask with Giannis, though.
Well, I think the only teams that would have that ability is a team like the Celtics that could put like a Morris, a Baines, and a Tice in the lane.
And Horford as well, to
clog the lane. Because, when you look at a 4... Harris isn't really big enough to clog the lane. Embiid's big enough to clog the lane, but then you've got Bolden, who's a rake as well. He needs to get on the Giannis diet.
Yeah, man. He needs to just sell a diet and a workout regime. And put like 5 or 6 of these guys. Thon needs that regime too, badly. Man. But if Bolden went on that like Giannis diet and Giannis regime, jeez, he'd be phenomenal.
Because he's a much better 3-point shot as well.
And I think he's a better ball handler than Giannis. Giannis still is a bit raw with the ball in his hand. I think
he just the whole point with Giannis and the ball in his hand is that from anywhere over half court, he's only 3 steps away from the rim.
I know, and stepping in just some crazy spots where you're just like, he stepped there, like you're trying to face up, defend him, and you're just like, but he stepped there. Like, what am I meant to do? Like he's stepping like 4 feet away from where I'm trying to defend. So it's crazy. Yeah, we move on to the Spurs and Celtics.
And the Spurs have had a little bit of a revival, obviously making it
a little burst down the end, and then lost a couple of games.
Lost a couple of games, but they were pretty much sorted when the Kings went on a losing run. Paddy's been playing really well this year, man.
Man, he had a good year.
Phenomenal year. For a guy that's a veteran, really his shooting has taken the next level up. Couple of blocks, hilarious. He's like the smallest guy in the league, I think, besides Isaiah Thomas. Really good year. 12 points, 5 of 7, 1 rebound, 4 assists, plus 16. Good win over the Celtics. Bainesy had...
he played pretty well in this game.
20 minutes, 4 of 6, 8 rebounds, a steal, -8. LaMarcus had a feast, almost 50 points.
48 points, 3 offensive boards, 10 defensive rebounds, 6 assists, a block, plus 23. Like, it's just a monster night. Just
a monster night for LaMarcus. He is that feast or famine kind of guy. Well, not feast or famine. He's not J.R. Smith, but he's kind of that feast or 16 and 24. Yeah,
and it's... trying to jam 2 different styles into with DeRozan and LaMarcus. It's like
very clogged lanes because DeRozan operates in those areas from a shooting perspective, and so does LaMarcus.
Yeah. You take shots, I take shots, you take shots, and then you've got Bertans like knocking down shots. Derek White can drive and kick. Forbes has been shooting the 3-ball well. It's just a bit all over the place. But, man, they got it done. How many wins? 47 wins, nearly 50 wins.
Don't see it getting past first round again.
They'll get bounced out straight away. But,
against the Nuggets, maybe not.
Maybe. We'll see. We'll have to wait and see. It'll be good series. I think the West is shaping up to be good. I think the East is going to be interesting too.
There's just a few trash teams you're like, they've just come good in the last week, and you're like, why?
Yeah, it doesn't make sense.
What doesn't make sense? But they've just been absolute rubbish all season.
Or just, you have a win. No, you take the 8. No, you take the 7 spots. All right, it's all right. And then now, shit, we need to cram. Like, we need to study for this exam. Let's do it. We got to
let's shoot 149 if on the Magic. You're like,
that was outrageous the other day. Who were they playing? Was it Hawks?
Yes.
Yeah, they just weren't missing. I turned it on. I was watching it. I just couldn't miss. Fournier was just knocking down shots.
God.
Move on. Pistons at the Warriors.
Thonotron had a good game.
Yeah, he played well.
Played really well. +9 on the night on a loss.
Yeah, and a loss. They played well, the Pistons.
Yeah. It's good to see as well. The owners of the Pistons opened up the arena for the 8 games down the stretch for the playoff run. Free tickets.
Oh, yeah.
Which is pretty cool for the locals.
To get people at the games.
Well, it's a very poor city.
Yeah, man.
It's a very poor city.
Hard.
But it's good to see. They're packing out crowds. And
I hope they make the playoffs too. Like, I want them out of, like, look, I like Miami.
You want to see D Wade go post just for one more time.
Just for one.
But they're going to get bounced out so hard because they're such trash.
You want to see the Kemba Hornets?
No, because they
okay, just out of here.
Nah.
I wouldn't mind, but I really want to see Detroit back in the playoffs. You know, they've got some big guys, Blake Griffin, Drummond and Thon. I want to see Thon there after he left the Bucks.
Yeah.
It's just
you want to see him get a postseason run, but they got to pull something out of their back pocket in the last 2 games.
Their last 2 games. I'll check that while we're talking who their last 2 games are. But at the end of this game, like Kennard played really well in this team, in this game. But in this team, he's okay. Just give it to him for a shot. It's just like he's 4 or 5. Let's keep using him. Go to the hot hand. Nah.
It's because Drummond is in the dunk spot, and
yeah.
Embiid and Redick is the perfect point how you hide a shooter in your team to score 30 points a night. Redick's having a career year at 34 purely because no one wants to fight around Embiid, and off the screen, oh yeah, Redick's put it in again. Oh, there's Redick. Oh, Simmons come off a Simmons screen. Oh yeah, he's put it in again.
They're good screeners.
But that's what Kennard needs. He needs that. He needs to set a really high screen where he can work in and operate from the mid-range or come around the screen and shoot beyond the arc. That's really what you need to. But they don't do that. They can't just let him out there, and then Ishmael will pass it to him, and he's just like, oh, okay. All right, I'll put up a shot. And then it's a contested shot.
Or it's a lot of drive and kick out, and he's got to sidestep and hope that he's wide open. I think that's kind of where Thon's game doesn't really complement what they're trying to do.
Thon is too easy to fight around on the screen as well. He needs to bulk out. I know he's 7'1". He's probably still growing, but he needs to put on about 20 pounds to play that.
Beef. He needs to get on that Giannis diet.
He needs to get on that Giannis beefcake diet. Bogut.
So their last 2 games, Memphis and New York. So you would think they're going to win those 2, really.
Yeah, Grizzlies Memphis, are weird. Yeah, I don't know. Although no Conley.
Game. Yeah, true.
So
did they win today? They lost today to Dallas.
They lost to Dallas. Yeah.
But yeah, sorry, Bogut. Yeah, he played well and he's complimenting. He's doing really well for the Warriors. He's what a situation for him. I can't be more happy for him.
It's just like, oh yeah, do you want to come play? Oh man, I would love to come play for the Warriors for like 20 games if that.
For sure. It's great. Such a good situation. Really, really happy fans too to have a guy like that who's a good veteran presence.
Yeah, good veteran.
I think that helps too. Like
it does, because Clay's playing absolutely woefully at the moment. Thompson.
Clay. He's
been trash.
Clay.
Durant's not been
He's been phenomenal in the last 5 games, like ridiculous. I think he had a perfect night a couple of games ago.
Yeah, he did have
dishing dimes everywhere. I think this team is gonna obviously. Did you see the Curry how he got contacts? Finally,
yeah, but then he shot 3 of 10 today.
Yeah, maybe he didn't wear the contacts, but this team is like it's a very emotional rhythm team. Like it's not they're not robots. They're like if things happen, we'll talk about the Timberwolves game a little bit later. Like things happen.
That was even I don't believe in your conspiracy gun, but that was fucking bullshit.
Yeah, it was just
it was a joke.
But we'll talk about it. We'll get right.
Although the Kevin Durant foul was on the floor, it was it was before the actual shooting. But the foul at the end was just like, who'd ever give that? Just go to overtime. Like seriously.
Yeah, it's just, and I didn't really like the Curry pointing at the ref. I was like, oh come on, man, they're making it bad for you. But that team's very emotionally driven, and like once they start to get into a rhythm, it's hard for other teams to stop it. But I have noticed this season, more teams are playing like that, and then more teams are going, oh right, we've got more experience playing against that style and that sort of emotional stuff.
Yeah.
So we've got experience, and then when they come to play the Warriors, it's like, oh, we know how to do that now. Oh, no, we're not going to quite let you get away. Whereas, 4 years ago, it was like, oh, they're out by 20, that's it, game over.
Yeah.
Third quarter, that's it, But yeah, no, Bogut's just come into the perfect situation, and I think he was the perfect sort of just come off the bench and do your thing type of situation for him, which worked for him. 76ers, the Magic is the next game.
No, Simmons we're out with a stomach virus. And man, it just shows you that he's a big loss, and that it's not just an Embiid team, it's a Simmons and Embiid show team. Tobias Harris's shooting has been down since he came to the Sixers.
Really?
Yeah, it's been down about 4 or 5% on three. He does get a little bit trashed in the pick and roll. He doesn't fight around screens that hard. I don't know if this team seems like a bit of a post team, same as the Celtics. They can lock down, shorten the rotation, and have the best players on the floor kind of doing what they need to do. But yeah, I mean, this was a bit of a chunk.
Yeah, and the Magic is just a weird team that get hot sometimes. Like if Gordon's playing well, he plays well, and then Vucevic is playing well. Vucevic sometimes just gets in this zombie mode where you just can't stop him. Yeah. And it's a lot of hard post contested shots where you're just like, fuck, man, how's he putting these away? But they're, that's old school good basketball for some of these teams, but whereas for other teams, just like, that's a terrible shot for this team. But for the Magic, for Vucevic, it seems to work a lot, and Gordon a little bit as well. And then Fournier is obviously shooting the ball a lot better. So they're locked in now, the Magic, to just pretty much get bounced out first round against Toronto if they're locked into that set.
I don't know, the Toronto is just trash postseason though.
Lowry's still out, is he?
No, he's back in.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've had a couple of weird wins, weird losses, all that kind of stuff. So
you never know what's going to happen with Kawhi either.
Yeah, look, he's the big time player. Don't get me wrong, but yeah, who knows?
Yeah, you just don't know. He might that quad back to back type stuff, traveling in and out of Toronto here and there.
Yeah.
Anyway, you want to move on to Suns of the Jazz?
We will. The Jazz have been phenomenal down the stretch.
Yeah, crazy. I think they were 9-1. I think they lost today, so they're 9-2 in their last 11.
Yeah, but
looking really good too.
Joe Ingles,
real dangerous, man.
Joe Ingles. Oh, you don't know postseason what this Jazz team can do. You don't know, because Gobert's now in line for Defensive Player of the Year, and
his offensive game is looking way better too. Like he's a few little floaters, like a little here and there, and like I think Joe Ingles himself has worked out. All right, I can put the ball here for these guys, Favors and Gobert, and that gets them going, and that gets the whole team going. Ricky Rubio's been in and out of the team, like we were talking about that last time, where he kind of fits but doesn't fit, and they've got to work it out. And less Rubio and more Mitchell is better. Yeah. But Joe Ingles, I think, is just the perfect role guy, the perfect veteran guy who's just like, I'll just take on this. I'll play make if you need me to play make. I'll shoot if I need to shoot. We were kind of a bit skeptical at the start of the season, looking at that and going, dude, you need to shoot more because you're struggling. But now he's found this perfect mix of that, the pocket pass in the on the pick and roll with Favors. He really likes that nice sort of short 3-foot floater for Favors. Even Gobert's put together a nice little floater game for him. But yeah, they just murdered the Suns. Devin Booker had 59. Should we talk about the Suns real quick? Devin Booker. People were saying he needs to leave. He needs to get out of it. Like, man, in 3 or 4 years, this team could be really good with Devin Booker.
They could. Because, I mean, DeAndre Ayton's a very serviceable center. Like, he's been the lost. Well, he's number one pick. I think he's really been lost in this.
If they get Zion.
They get Zion at power forward. They've got a couple of decent shooters in there. They draft well. They pick up a couple of players. Like, they made some terrible signings. Like, they signed Ariza and Ryan Anderson. There's terrible signings. And
I think James Jones is their GM. LeBron's best mate.
Yeah, I mean, where's Booker going to go to? That's the problem.
Yeah,
where's
he that contract too.
On that contract, max contract, in a lowly team. Who's going to take it? I'm sure people would take him, but where's he going to go really? What, the Knicks? Go to the Knicks with Durant,
But, man, I think in 3 or 4 years, if the Suns play this right, Devin Booker at the center, like we talked about it all season, the mutant point guard, it's here. Like you're getting Giannis, point Luka, point Harden.
Yeah.
Like I think Booker can run the point for this team, and all they need to do is just surround him with shooters. He can score, he can facilitate, The only team that's kind of resisted that really is the Spurs with DeRozan, where it's kind of like, no, you're not point DeRozan. You still got LaMarcus there, sort of thing. But yeah, we'll move on. Spurs Hornets, nice little segue into the Spurs. Paddy, 19 minutes, no points, 0 of 60. He didn't play well in this game. They lost right at the end, the Kemba Hornets. Kemba just at the end of these games, man, it's just like
Kemba
runs out 19 points to win. Woo! If they get in the right zone. I think Miles Bridges had a really good play at the end of this game too, where there was a off an inbound, he had a steal, ran into the corner and then dished it into the lane for someone to get fouled. Like, I was like, oh, it's a smart sort of play.
Smart play.
And then, it extended the lead. And I think DeRozan had a couple of dodgy plays down the end of this.
God, he hasn't shot any threes this year, DeRozan. It's just all been mid-range.
After last year, it's like I've added the 3-ball to my repertoire. Like, this makes
Pop's like, don't shoot the 3. He's like, fair enough. I shot.
No 3-balls.
All right, we'll go on to the Celtics Cavs. Good win for the Celtics against pretty much the bongwater of the NBA, as we've always said. Bainesy had 25 minutes plus 8, 5 fouls and 4 points, so more fouls than points.
Yeah, it's good.
That's a good night for Bainesy. Yes, we will move on from trash.
Before those uniforms, the 2018 City Edition.
Oh, God.
The orange fizz, they look like dishwasher tablets, man. It sounds horrible. That was really horrible. There's been some bad courts this season, like some bad strips and some bad courts. I like the Hornets retro, like the retro lines, but their retro court, man, is horrible.
Best retro court was Miami.
Yeah, the best sort of best kind of setting for that Miami Vice. But that orange and blue, that was just horrible. Anyway,
rough. Jason Tatum and Smart, 21 points each. Clarkson's been pretty good. Colin Sexton has been good, but
Sexton looks good in bits, but he's a bad shot taker, man.
He's like Donovan Mitchell. He's just a less athletic Donovan Mitchell. Pretty much.
Still good.
Still good. I mean, still good, but never going to lead a team to anything.
I don't think so.
No.
I think it's going to be him with the Cavs for the next 5 years.
And then him slowly exiting into the outcrops of Europe and then potentially into
he's good.
He's only 6'2".
I think he'll have a full... He's got enough tools, I think, in his shed. But it'll be the Kyrie situation all over again in 5 years, where suddenly you put LeBron with Kyrie and it's like, oh, this is a team that can actually win games, and it elevates Kyrie. And I think you're going to get the same with Sexton. You're going to have 5 years of him playing point, and then that's it. It's like...
What do we do?
Yeah.
What do we do?
Kings at Mavs. And the Kings, Brian Brokoff, actually, he's back. He played 29 minutes.
Plus 15 in a loss.
11 points.
He's been playing well. He's been playing really well. Yeah, but that's fine. He's been playing really well, shooting well, assisting.
He's doing everything.
Yeah, man. He's actually... I don't know what he's going to do at the Mavs next year, but great for Australia coming into the World Cup. I think as a backup small forward, it's just, or even playing like an oversized shooting guard role
for sure. Yeah,
just can knock down the 3-ball from pretty much anywhere. So
especially if you got a guy like Simmons running the point, who's a facilitator, like a hardcore facilitator.
It's a team of 5 facilitators. I actually know 4 facilitators. We won't say Baines is ever a facilitator, but I mean, you've got Ingles playing small forward or power forward. You've got Mills playing shooting guard, Simmons playing point, Brokoff playing small forward. You got a whole bunch of guys that can facilitate. It's just whether they're going to be able to get to the rim and score. I think that typically in World Cups we've done quite well shooting the 3-ball. Seems like it picks up a bit, but Doncic has gone very quiet for the last kind of 15-20 games.
Clock out.
Yeah.
I think he had the Rookie of the Year pretty much sewn up after that.
I know, but Trey Mung, who's not Mung anymore, he's kind of come back and scoring 30-point games, 10 assists,
He's thrown off that moniker, the Trey Mung moniker. But even Marvin Bagley, man, has had a really good season for the Kings.
He
looks good. A lot of people are like, oh, this kid can play. Like, okay, maybe, selecting him at 3. Was he at 3, was he? Or
yes,
2?
He was 3.
No, 2, was he?
Was he 2?
Was it...
it was DeAndre...
Yeah, and then
Marvin was 3.
Oh, I don't know. I can't remember. It's been so long ago.
Was
I'm
it?
tired as well. But
if it's left, it's a baby.
Yeah, but he's showing like all-round ability that, like, I feel like 5-6 years ago, people would just go, "That guy's really athletic. How awesome is it?" Whereas now people are starting to go, that guy's really, really crafty around the rim. How awesome is it? Like, it's not just athleticism.
Well, Doncic isn't really an athlete.
No.
He's just a really crafty player.
And I think people are starting to recognize now you can have an athletic base that's really high, yet it's your craft that makes you succeed. And he's really good at
Joe
putting the ball
Ingles
around the rim. Yeah, for sure. I mean, he's the opposite. Like, his athletic ability is low. But I feel like the athletic boom where it's like, whoa, explosive. Like, Russell Westbrook's so explosive. Now it's like, you need to be able to shoot. It doesn't really matter how explosive you are. You kind of gotta shoot.
Because if you can stand out on the 3-point line and knock it down at 45% plus, doesn't matter how many times you can dunk. It's completely irrelevant in this league at this point in time when James Harden's put up 1,000 3-point attempts for the year.
It's crazy. It's a lot they shoot so many 3-pointers, man. It's crazy. We move on to the Pistons at the Nugs. Pistons played all right in this game.
They did. This was a trash game, though.
It was a bad game, but
it's a bad game. The Nugs are going to get flicked first round.
You reckon?
100%.
You're notching that on.
Oh god, they're just anyone is going to flick them first round. They are trash. They are trash. I don't know how they've gotten to the amount of wins they've gotten.
Oh, well, they're not a bad team. Look, there's another one where they've got to go through the fire, really.
I don't think they have the rotation shortening ability. I don't think Jokic is fit enough. I was going to bring it up later, but man, he's just looks gassed. After 4 or 5 minutes in a game, he just looks like cooked, man. And really exploitable as well. Like Portland defensively
looked pretty poor against Portland. Obviously, we'll talk about the Warriors a little bit later. It was the same thing, but like it's a worry, man. I'm like, oh shit. Like,
I don't think they have the gas postseason. I think that it's on a good night they might get a win, but I think any team that shortens their rotation and plays a lot of hard run off the line defensive basketball, the Nuggets are going to struggle with.
Well, they're a team that,
they don't have that gimmicky player that can just...
Well, it's Jokic, but he's not athletic.
No.
And
he's not going to play 45 minutes a game.
Well, I don't think he can. But then the rest of their team seems to just be like, just run around like crazy. And then it's like, yeah, but you're making Jokic worse by doing this because he's got to run here, there, everywhere and do all this stuff where... The other thing is, I don't know where there's a spot where you can just sit him in there and just go, all right, we'll find a nice, happy balance of that.
No.
It just doesn't fit. Sometimes, and look, his passing is phenomenal.
Yes.
And around the rim is good too. But if you run at him for the first 10 minutes of a game, suddenly he just disappears out of a game and you're like, oh, Jokic, where'd he go? He's not doing anything. What the fuck?
He's not like a Capella or an Embiid who can run for 40 minutes of the game.
And Capella was like that a couple of years ago.
Yes, he's gotten much fitter.
He's gotten heaps fitter and heaps better as well. And knows his spot too. He's like, I don't even need to go over there.
No.
I just stay here and dunk a spot. I know Harden's coming at me. The Nuggets don't seem to have that. The Nuggets we play everything. And it's like, yeah, but that guy's gassed. Okay, if that's what you're going to... And then Jamal Murray, they're all pretty raw and young too.
Yes.
So they're another team that's got to go through the fire.
Not this year. We'll move on to the Dubs and Grizz.
Yeah, pretty routine
for Dubs.
Both get 7 minutes, a couple of boards off the bench. We'll move on. Boogie's been pretty good. What's your take on Boogie so far?
Good, man. I think that even in the postseason, Kerr doesn't really shorten the rotation that much.
Kind of does, but...
Yeah, but from 30 to kind of 35 minutes. Whereas you watch a Philly... or a Boston, it'll be 40 minutes a game. But Kerr doesn't do that. He's like a 30 to 35 minute rotation, 30 being season, 35 to 37 minutes postseason. So you're not going to be able to rely on Boogie for more than 28 minutes a game.
Nah, and he's very temperamental too.
Yes, and you can get into his head very easily with a guy like Embiid if he gets a little bit up on him. Like a guy like Capella gets a little bit up on him because Capella's a much more athletic player.
Well, he kind of destroyed Capella in their last matchup. But at the same time, you're not taking that to the bank. You're not going to bank that for sure.
No.
You're going, yeah, but that could easily he could have melted down. And
you could have gone the other way if he wasn't getting shots. But this does break a hoodoo for the longest career without a playoff appearance.
Boogie. Oh, wow. That's pretty good.
Yes.
Good for him, man.
Something 530 games without a playoff appearance. So that $5 million in injury.
For an all-star? He's an all-star too as well.
He's an all-star too. Yeah. But for any player, 534 games without he would never have made, in Sacramento's and never made a playoffs, man. He would never have taken a team. It's just too volatile. And without, I think... It's McGee, like I said at the start, it's a McGee thing all over. Didn't play for the Pelicans. Obviously, the injury last year, they made the playoffs.
They would have made the playoffs.
They did make the playoffs, but he didn't because obviously he was injured.
His Achilles, and they were tearing it up too.
Yeah,
but the McGee thing, where it's the same thing, where it's just don't ever step outside those cones, and you'll have a good time. Yeah, and some players go, I really want to go over there. That's no. And then when you've got the rest of the team, that's very hey, come on. They seem very to get on really well too. It's not like he's he's a big locker room presence that has a huge space to blow up into. It seems to be like these guys get on it and just go, hey, chill, turn it down, and then gets in his head.
It's more about a Green and Durant style blow up than anything.
Like it's kind of like a higher, like a more sophisticated blow up, really, with layers and fucking text wars and shit like that. We move on to Lakers at Jazz. This was important too. Like we should talk about Joe Ingles' son. Obviously, was diagnosed with autism, and then he's been a vocal advocate for autism in general in the US. And just going down. So he was filming stuff for the autism awareness night that they had.
Yeah.
And obviously for every dime, I think they were going to up to 25,000, which kind of sucks because he had 14 dimes on the night. He had 5 dimes by half time. So no, by the end of the first quarter, I think it was. So he'd already raised that total, but like he went out there, you know, to play his heart out for autism awareness. Yeah. Obviously, you've got a son. I've got a daughter now.
Yeah,
something to really think about. We should shout out.
Don't get your child vaccinated.
let's not turn it into a vax. But we should shout out, man. Go to autism awareness if you want to. Yeah,
I was joking. Oh, I kind of am.
I know, but
kind of am and kind of aren't.
But no, seriously, like Autism Awareness Australia. If you're in Australia or if you're in the US, go and if you want to give money and donate, it's for a good cause.
Yeah.
Joe Ingles obviously playing his heart out. It was great to see a real great story just in general for an Aussie player.
It is good, and autism is one of those things that it is a spectrum of disorders now. It seems to be that every man his dog is diagnosed with autism these days. Obviously, when we were growing up, people with autism were very, very, very different. Where I think these days they may just be considered a little bit of a learning delay is now considered autism. So I don't know how autistic his child is. It is a terrible thing to happen, and you would not want it on your worst enemy because life becomes very hard.
But it's good to see,
it's good to see they're putting the money in and getting it up there as well. So that's good. We'll move on to talk
about the game. The game was pretty bad. They just got munched.
Yeah, but the Lakers are fucking terrible. I can't stand the LeBron saga.
What a quick 180 out of autism awareness to the Lakers are fucking trash, man.
Just the LeBron saga. It's just like no one wants to go and join Space Jam 2 with LeBron because he can't get another. No one wants to fucking go and play with Looney Tunes anymore, LeBron. You're balding. Go advanced hair. What is going on? Just your basketball is still good. He's still good. A bit slow. The team's trash.
I don't think the team is trash, man. I think
the team is trash because they brought this old bull that wanted to knock off all these young bucks, but they need the young bucks, right? Because these guys are the future. Like Brandon Ingram, Kyle Kuzma, Lonzo Ball, like. I mean, Lonzo's been a little bit too injured for his 2 years in. He's not really.
And then traded Zubac for Muscala.
Apparently, that they laughed. Doc Rivers and they were laughing when that happened. Apparently they were pissing themselves laughing that would happen.
So it's like LeBron is like a can of Mortine, and they just took it into that club and just went, and it's just infected the entire organization because that's his move, though. Like that's him in a nutshell. I come in, I just be like, oh yeah, I'm the man. You out, like you. And I think in this situation, a lot of their young guys went.
Nah,
sorry, mate. Like, I really can't do that here.
That you know, a lot of the other teams that were kind of courting him, and I think he was always going to Lakers, but I really think that he couldn't have gone to any other team and done that.
Well, I think he was going to do it anyway. Like, I don't think he would have gone anywhere and not tried that shit on.
Yeah, I know. But, like, if he'd gone... I think that's why he went to the Lakers. Like, that's why he didn't go to the 76ers. He didn't go to any other teams because... Fuck, you're not going to go in there and piss him beat off because they're just going to go, yeah, LeBron, you're gone. This guy is better than you currently as a player and as a franchise player. But anyway.
So in a sense, that yeah, okay, fair enough. Like... But it was just always going to end one way. He was going to go in there and be like, I'm Mr. fucking Big Shot. And then it pissed everyone off.
It did. It pissed everyone off.
And it turned into a huge saga and then a whole circus and then...
The whole Anthony Davis. And now he's apparently going to Boston. It's just
trash. I know. Really, it transcends what's really happening. It's like you play basketball and you win games.
The one nice thing you can say about Philly is that they pulled out some really high-profile trades, but there was no talk of it beforehand. Everyone just was like, oh, shit, that's happening today? Like, you know, there was no like, oh, you know, let's release it, or LeBron's camp releasing the whole Anthony Davis trade to try and get him across quicker.
Yeah.
Like, Rich Paul should be kicked out of the league and deregistered. Like, he's a fucking moron. I mean, he's a puppet.
As we say from Australia in somebody's bedroom, be like, Rich Paul, get out of the league.
Yeah, but it makes it a circus instead of basketball, and I fucking hate. Anyway, let's move on. Magic and Pistons.
So I will say, no, what I was going to say, no, it's gone. I was going to say something about LeBron. Nah, it's gone. We'll move on to the Magic at the Pistons. 98-115 win for the Pistons. Yeah, like, and the Magic just terrible.
Yeah.
Okay. Aaron Gordon, 20 points. Yeah. DJ Augustine, 18 points.
Yeah, it's just, you don't know. Like, I would much rather play as a team Magic in the first round than Brooklyn. I think Brooklyn have got better depth.
Yeah, they look a lot better.
Like D'Angelo can take over games. There's nothing really... I mean, Terrence Ross can kind of shoot lights out, but there's no one at Orlando that you're like, yeah, he's going to take over a game and this could be trouble. Whereas D'Angelo Russell's like, oh, shit, he could take over a game. This could be trouble.
And or if it is, it's like it's Aaron Gordon and Vucevic, where you just kind of like...
Yeah, but you can just muscle Vucevic out or play a silly on him. But
Thon, 8 points. Not a bad game for him.
Not a bad game.
Rebounds,
2 blocks. Blake Griffin's ass had 20 points and 10 rebounds. Andre Drummond having a good defensive year. Big rebounder.
6 blocks.
6 blocks. Yeah, look, he's much better on the rim defense. He'll get trashed against any center with an arm. We'll move on to the 76ers and the Nets, and this was easily a good win for the 76ers. Simmons had 16 points, 4 rebounds, 8 assists, 1 steal, and a plus 13. Embiid had almost 40 points, 13 rebounds, 6 assists. Redick had 18.
He's looking good too, man.
Yeah,
looking
man.
Very svelte going into the playoffs.
Very svelte. Had a bit of a rest. Butler's having a rest. I would probably rest everyone for the Bulls game on Tuesday. Maybe play the Heat and rest the Bulls. Have some trash in there.
That's what I was going to say. Nobody's talking about the Fultz thing anymore.
No, it's fantastic.
Have you noticed? No one's gone, Fultz.
Jonathan Simmons, I think, has been released.
Oh, has he? Yeah, and they've got Monroe. What happened there? I was watching him play the Celtics. I'm
pretty sure Jonathan Simmons is no longer part of the Sixers lineup. They're just like, oh, let's get rid of this guy. He was like trash.
So they've done that well. Like, they've done that.
It just fell off into oblivion where, yeah, it was just like, all right, I think they got a pick out of it. They did get a pick out of it. Philly, let's see. No, he's still on, but he's not playing. So he's trash. Anyway.
So was it a good tune-up for a possible series against the Nets? What did you see?
D'Angelo Russell had a terrible game. Terrible.
But you're always wary of Russell.
You're always wary of Russell because you just don't know where it's going to go. Look, it was a good win. I think that's home court advantage for the 76ers is massive. First round, they get out. Then they get against Toronto. That'll be a tough pick. But yeah, home court advantage against any team. You're going to think that they're going to take that series in at least a 7, but you know they pick one away, then a 4 or 5. Yeah, they've got a good depth lineup. You know, their bench isn't scoring well, but they can go off. Like Bolton, it was hilarious. I don't know if we'll come up to this pretty soon, but it was the
T-Wolves game, was it?
T-Wolves game where
get to that.
Commentators like, oh, this is ridiculous. Who does this guy think he is, Steph Curry? It was like, yep, you're getting trounced. All right, we'll move on to the Mavs and the Heat. Good old win for the fall of the Heat.
I didn't put the points there, but
that's all right.
9 points. 3 of 6 from 3, so that you can't go wrong with 3 of 6 from 3.
You cannot. A rebound and block -2 on the night, which was good for Brokoff. We'll move on to the Cavs and Spurs. 11 points for Paddy, 4 rebounds, 3 assists, -8 in a 116-110 win. No Aussies in the Cavs team. I think Delhi's pretty much going to be out. Dell is
just kind of deep rotation.
Two-way. Yeah, so it'll be interesting to see what the moves are off season because Creek obviously getting the 10-day with the T-Wolves means a few teams looking at him. Humfo finally getting his big break up into the Atlanta team as well. Played well in G League, played well enough. It'd be good to see him evolve over the summer and work with some of the big guys to do this. This was the Gino Beerley.
Remember that?
The Aussie, from I think the Aussies won that game. It was under 18s, under 21s World Cup.
A real young Manu. It was Manu night, so yeah. It's good to see them inducted into the...
Tim Duncan is the whitest black man on earth, I have to say that.
Jersey night. Was it Jersey night?
It was where they drafted. But
Jersey retirement.
Tim Duncan is the whitest black man on earth. He's so white.
just a humble black man.
It's not so much humble. He's just... the things he says are like...
Oh, really just a humble man.
He's just a humble man. But the things he says are hilarious. Like, now he's got cornrows and doing kickboxing. It's like...
Yeah, whatever, man. He's 7 foot. Man, how blasted would his knee be, though? He was apparently he was just playing on bone, basically, by the end of his career.
Get those stem cells in. Stem cells.
Pump it full of PRP, man.
That's it, mate. All right, Pacers and Celts. Good win for the Celts. I think they've got over Pacers in that series quite easily. Bainesy, 13 points, 6 of 10.
Yeah, 4 offensive boards, 9 defensive. 13
boards,
9
2 assists and a block. Yeah,
good. And it's tough, too, because the Pacers pretty much have Turner, and that's kind of it.
Yeah.
Really. Sabonis and Thad Young aren't really big enough to dominate.
No, you got the Chubb factor, the 6'10" brick in your face. All right.
Yeah, we'll move to the Dubs.
All right, let's get Reffy. Let's get sour, and let's talk about this game.
It was hilarious. I'm over it now. At the time, I wasn't sitting there going, "This is a disgrace." I was kind of sitting there just going, like, this just looks bad. You know,
it looks bad for the game because there was quite easily an agenda there that was.
But the more I look at it, the more it's just kind of incompetence as well. Like.
Okay, the foul on Kevin Durant was on the floor. That was a good call. When you reverse that, he did make contact before Kevin Durant went up for the shot. That's fair enough. And then Steph gets the shot in. Quite clearly a foul on Steph Curry. But
yeah, man. And I thought, look, that's pretty dangerous. I don't know how you class that, though. Like, you can't look at that and go, oh, wow, that's dangerous, man. Like, because I saw a flagrant today where Paul George went to set a screen and the guy didn't know he was coming and kind of, like, just put his arm up inadvertently, and it's like flagrant, touched his head, and you're like, yeah, but like there was no swinging, like,
yeah,
what? And then yet, you know, the guy shooting the ball is in the air and he comes up and taps his legs. I don't know, that's not dangerous. It's not attacking the head.
Oh, it is dangerous.
Yeah, it's dangerous.
Yeah, the ankle tap is just, mate, this is not rugby.
But it's not, like, you can't look at that and just go soft.
No,
you look at that and go, "Fuck, man, that is
not only is it dangerous, it's flagrant. That is a flagrant foul. So that's a bad call. But then the 0.5 lob into the rim,
he had like 15 feet over everyone's head, sails into the crowd, and they're like, foul.
Just like, really?
Oh. But yeah, look. I think it got out of hand, man, and I didn't like how Curry they were all pointing. I'd watch them do it again, but at the same time, I'm just like, that's a bad look, man. People are going to look at you and just be like, what an arrogant dick. Like,
yeah.
But the T-Wolves played all right in this game too, and then Wiggins fouled out and Boogie fouled out. Boogie, a couple of like watching Boogie, you're like, he's a 300-pound man, yet he gets reffed like he can't touch anyone.
Yeah.
But then when he's inside, he just gets destroyed. Like, you're a 300-pound man, deal with it. And you're like, yeah, but at the other end, you're giving fouls for nothing. Like, what the hell, man? At one point, he got like his headband like knocked off, and like his headband just goes flying. And he's like, how did my headband come off and no one just whacked me in the head? Like, what the hell, man? But then Towns was on 5 fouls, and he had 3. Like, one was like he tried to intentionally foul someone and they didn't call it. So you probably shouldn't have even been in the game at the end of that game.
It was a bad end to the game. And I was like, oh, this is terrible.
Oh, it just didn't look good for the product, man, on a nationally televised game too. No. And then they called it hot stove contact. And I'm like, the fuck is that? What? They called it in the report. They're like, oh, no, that Okogie touch ankle tap was it's hot stove contact. And you're like, what? What is it? What even is that? That's a technical term or something. Hot stove contact, like or something. I don't know.
He clipped his ankles.
I know. He came up and just went. I thought it was dangerous, but you know, what do you do, man? I feel bad because you're like, man, you look like fucking shit.
Yeah, but some of the refs, like I think Pop got ejected in a minute the other day.
But sometimes they're bad and sometimes they aren't. Like I don't. Like the more
it seems to be against very specific teams.
Yeah, like certain players too.
If you watch a season against the Celtics and 76ers, there's some 50-50 calls that should have gone the other way. And B gets sent to the line a bit more than you should. But down the end of the line, they usually let play go. That's, a bit extra contact. Yeah. It's a close game. Should it be a foul? Yeah, but whatever. Okay, it is what it is. But blatantly bad calls seem to happen against the Warriors all the time.
You reckon? Because I used to think it was just the Warriors. Like, clearly this team's too good for the league, and someone's gone, dude, this team's too good for the league. They're going to be running up 160 a night. Don't let them do that. That's what I thought at the start. But now that I've watched a lot more games of other teams this season, it's kind of like, shit, the refs are pretty bad in all of these games. Like,
sometimes they're bad. I mean, I've watched a few games and it was like, oh, that's just bad reffing. I think it was against the Atlanta, an old game against Atlanta this season, and a couple of games against the Celtics. Just like, oh yeah, this is pretty bad. But it didn't affect the outcome of the game too much. They're going to lose anyway. But when it comes down to like, it's 1:30 all and there's half a second and you're going to call a foul for the never point that was never going to happen. It should have just gone to overtime like anything else.
Yeah. Probably should have never got to overtime, really, if they had done their job properly.
Yeah, I know. But then, you bring it back and say, all right, it's 1:30 apiece. I'm not calling this shit. Just go to overtime. You know what I mean? But
so the more of other games I watch, the more I'm just like, oh, it's just hard to ref.
Yeah.
It's fucking hard. Like, they get a lot of shit and I'm implicated
Nothing
in giving them
could
shit.
be worse than the...
Was the one where Embiid went up and he just got whacked in the face at the end of one of those games?
Oh, that was the last game of the series against Celtics. Baines just hit him in the head, and then they're just like, "No, that's cool."
And Baines, he's like, "Oh, sorry, man, sorry, like it's a foul," and they're like, no, "It's not a foul, sweet, no worries," and they all run up court because nothing says, "Oh, that was a foul." Like everyone just like starts to congregate around the middle of the thing, knowing it's a foul, and then they just run off. It's like, "Oh, the game's still going." And it's like. Or, when the ball goes out and everyone just runs one way because they know it went out off them, and then they're like, oh, no, wait a minute, no, it's the other way. Yeah,
but in saying that, the Warriors did get that stupid Kevin Durant where he's quite clearly running out and threw the ball back in. And so it works both ways. It works both ways. Anyway, let's move on from the Warriors rant to the Wizards and the Jazz. And a good win for the Jazz. Jingles had 7 of 14, 10 assists, 5 rebounds, +3 on the night.
The Wizards looked decent in this game. I was like, well, Wizards, eh?
Yeah.
But I haven't watched much Wizards this season.
It's been, they've had some good games. I think that...
they fired their GM or the GM.
Bradley Beal's, a good talent. John Wall is a good player, but you just don't know what to do with him. Injured, very easily injured. But they're a couple of years away again. I think they need to blow it up. We got some Dengadell action in the Cavs clips. He had 4 minutes, 2 points, and 1 assist. Boom. Dengadell with the 1 of 1. That's pretty good. Usually it's like 1 of 12, 24 minutes, or none of 3 in 36 minutes. So well done, Dengadell.
Wow, is that you throwing shade at Dengadell?
I'm not throwing shade. I'm just saying in that trash bomb Cavs team, it's just the Colin Sexton ISO show.
He just stands in the corner and he's just like,
okay. All right, I'll run back. No, he's getting minutes. He's worked hard for that 2-way contract. He had a great year with Raptors 905. So
yeah, fantastic.
Good on him. We'll move on to Celtics and Nets. Good win for the Nets. Playoff bound they are. Russell had 20 of his 29 points in the third quarter. Karis LeVert, 15 points. Hayward had 19.
Hayward's looking a lot better, man.
Much better coming back out of that injury. A bit of time off. I think he will be the X factor in the playoffs. Because I think Uncle Drew can take over for as much as Uncle Drew wants, but they need that guy who is smart on defense, who can stretch the floor and score the 3 ball.
The problem is Uncle Drew comes with baggage. If Uncle Drew's not allowed to be Uncle Drew, it comes with a lot of baggage.
It comes with a lot of sulking and running of mouth and so forth. But I think
Hayward is just like, you want me on the bench? All right, no worries. I'll just play HyperX gaming and play some games, Fortnite. Sweet, no worries. I'll come off the bench.
He's not too worried, which is good. But he's just on a stupid contract.
I know, it sucks. Because he was a mad player. Watching him at the Jazz, man, you were just like, yep, he's taking the next step for sure. And he's going to be great. And then to get that injury, he's copped a lot of shit.
Yeah, but that injury, look, he's had a bad season. But in hindsight, when you take a year off from that kind of injury, it's not that bad. Yeah,
for sure. And coming back, it's taken him the whole season to just kind of look like a decent player again.
Yeah, really. It's taken 80 games and also for this team to find its feet, because last year it was very much the Terry Rozier kind of. He's a very good team player. He's never that one to take over a game. He's just going to stand around, hit shots and do all right. But yeah, I'm not 100% sure that the Celtics still have the glue postseason to get them where they need to go. I definitely think they'll
probably make the ECF. But they were kind of running on fire last season.
They run into the Bucks second round.
Oh, are they on that side? They'll be on that side. Yeah, they will too.
Yeah, they run into the Bucks second round, and the Bucks are going to destroy them.
I think they might. It'll be interesting. What's the season series? I'll check that while I'm here. Season series.
Right, we'll move on to Blazers and the Pistons and Thorny.
Nurk injured. Did we talk about that?
Yeah, this was the leg break. That was.
Was this the game?
Yeah, it came. I think it was.
Nah, it was an overtime game. I don't know who it was against, but it was an I know it was an overtime game because the refs weren't calling anything in that game when he broke his leg. And then they just let people go wild. And Nurk's, like, I hate saying it, but Nurk's very just sweet. I can get away with some shit. No worries. Fuck you all. Like, I'm just going through everyone. Like, and there was 2 plays right before he came down on the dude's leg where he cleared guys out.
Yeah.
And the refs didn't call. Like, if that ref had gone, on the floor, like, let's go down there, he wouldn't have got injured. But because they didn't call that, he went up again and then came down on the guy's leg. And that's a terrible thing to sort of say. Like, you don't want to see someone get injured, but it's like, oh man, the refs like just let things go and then someone gets injured. It's like, that's what happens.
That's what happens with this game.
But yeah, anyway, the Blazers without Nurkic, they lost this game. Starter Thon, 28 minutes, 8 points, 3 rebounds, 2 assists, 1 steal.
It's good. Plus 9 on the night.
Reggie Jackson, 28 points. Drummond, 22. No Griffin.
No Griffin.
Yeah, I think he had that knee problem at the start of the game. See, this is where like he kind of gets in the way of everything. Griffin, like, you want to play a conventional offense? Yep, no worries. Blake Griffin? No, we're not playing that if Blake Griffin's in this team. Like, and then you're like, well, what's the point of Thon Maker? Like, you can't play gimmicky shit, man.
You can't play gimmicky shit, but I think he's going to be that, if they make it to the postseason, he's going to be that X factor. Because he's the guy that lifts the team, really. He's the guy that gets in there and G's them up. Right, we'll move into the 76ers and T-Wolves. It was a good win.
Yeah, this was the game with Bolden.
Career man, 19 points, 7 of 10, 5 of 7, 8 rebounds, 3 assists, 1 steal, 3 blocks, and a plus 22.
Yeah, beast.
Man, the Timberwolves commentator's like, this guy doesn't even play every week. What is this? It was hilarious. I was laughing my pants off. Yeah. Simmons is crap. Why is Simmons playing?
Come on, Jonah Bolden. Why are you shooting threes? Yeah. What is this?
Who does this guy think he is? Steph Curry? It was hilarious commentary. And
like snapping the twine too, like with those threes, like wet ass.
Very high release, which is good for his length. Butler booed every time he had the ball. That was pretty funny. Tobias had 25. Sixers, good win.
Says it's listed here that Ben Simmons took a 3.
He did. He did. Just it was like a late rush.
Game.
Yeah. Sorry, he's not taken a proper, like, an actual step to line out of nowhere 3 since I think the Pelicans.
Everyone's going to be on their seat going, when he takes one, they'll all be like, oh, the whole
He's not going to take one in the playoffs.
Stop,
he's not going to take one in the playoffs.
One day he's going to take one and time's going to fucking literally stop.
Literally
the world
stop.
will start being spinning back.
Boban's had 2.
Yeah, and fucking striped them both as well too. The second one was like wet as
It's like it just
fuck.
came out of his fingertips because the ball just looks like...
it just kind of goes like...
Looks like a handball. Anyway, we'll move on to the Mavs and Thunder. And big win.
Yeah.
Big win.
Brokov played well in this game too. Not on the stat sheet, but like he's so much better than the crappy minutes that he gets. And he's more than just...
He could be a fantastic player in that Bucks lineup as a bench rotation player.
Yeah.
It does not work with the Mavs.
No, it doesn't.
He could stand in the corner and hit 12 points a night, and everyone's like, yeah, sweet, that's 16 minutes of efficient scoring. But the Mavs, he may come down the thing, be open 3 times, and they pass the ball to
Luka. And Brunson's been playing pretty well too lately.
And Dorian Finney-Smith, like all these guys, and he's just standing in the corner like, oh, it was open, but whatever, I'll just run back.
Yeah.
Whereas like Giannis is like, oh, shooter open, bang.
Yeah, he finds 50%, them every time. That's
every
the
time.
one part that Giannis has really improved this season.
Yeah.
His ability to find. Look at these OKC numbers. Paul George, 8 of 20. Westbrook, 9 of 19. Schroeder, 3 of 11. Morris, 1 of 6. And T. Ferg.
Grant, 6 of 16.
None of 2 for T. Ferg.
Trash.
Former NBL player.
Trash. All right, we'll move on to Kings and Spurs.
Yeah, man. The Kings swept the Spurs on the season series. Too
fast. Yeah, Pop was ejected. This was the Pop ejection.
In the third quarter, this is when, there was a offensive foul that he shot the 3 and the guy just ran straight into him and they called it, no, offensive foul, you kicked your leg out. Because he kind of kicked his leg out a little bit, but it wasn't like, the ones where they really kick their leg out and you can see it. It was kind of like just he shot it like that. Pop just lost his shit, man. It's hilarious. I love watching him lose his shit. It's great.
Paddy didn't have a great night. 5 points, 1 of 7.
But the Kings just run you out of the fucking gym,
They do.
man. They're so quick. And against the Spurs, who are like to be slow and methodical and are kind of old guys, it's like bad voodoo against those.
It is a bad voodoo.
Kind of team.
It's, I don't know. The Kings are a bit of a disappointment. I would have loved to have seen them in postseason, where everyone's really tired and they just run everyone ragged.
Yeah, for sure. But Bagley kind of got injured.
They just couldn't rack up the wins they needed to.
Have you seen Bielitsa? Bielitsa looks like he's put on a few kgs as well. Man. I don't know if he got
Buddy
injured.
Hield has had a great season, and I think
De'Aaron Fox even looks great.
had a great year. Willie Cauley-Stein's had a good year.
I know as well. I'm like, wow, Willie Cauley-Stein's like actually looks like he's dangerous in the lane and doesn't have stone hands syndrome, like Drummond type of thing. It's good. Harrison Barnes is there now, and obviously that's kind of as well dropping another just have Harrison Barnes clog up your offense for a little bit.
I know.
Fuck. All right. Yeah. Thanks. All right. Have 13 shots now. Harrison, good scorer. I like Harrison Barnes, but it's kind of like a nard bomb for your offense, really. Charlotte Warriors. Boogie got. Yeah, this was another one where Boogie got this really soft ejection. And it's like, are we really calling like incidental contact where it rubs across a guy's head, flagrant and ejecting guys? Like, what the fuck is this, man? Like, let these people play. Like, on one hand, I'm like, yeah, okay, people are going to get injured, and we don't want that. But the other hand, I'm like, what the fuck is this? Like, it just doesn't. And then they just went ham, absolutely ham, and destroyed them after Boogie got ejected. It was just like, fuck you then. I'm going to destroy this team. 137-90. Yeah.
Bogut plus 20 in 11 minutes, man. That's hilarious.
And he came out, I think, at the end of the first half for about 4 minute or 5 minute stretch right after he got ejected, and just played phenomenally well. Like, the stats don't show it. No assist there, but it's like such a good passer, man. Finding open guys. He finds Draymond Green a lot. And then obviously the guy rotates over and he finds Looney or someone coming in on the weak side. They run that so much and it gets so many rewards. But the single passer at the start doesn't get the reward like an assist or anything for it. It's Draymond Green who gets the assist for it. I'll move on. Pacers, Pistons. We'll rifle through a few more here.
Well, do you want to leave it here and then wrap up all the games come?
No, I want to get to the Nuggets. Okay. I want to talk about that Nuggets game. Pistons, Pacers. Start-a-thon, 42 minutes in this game. We should talk about that. 4 blocks.
That's pretty good. He had a good
lost
night.
to the Pacers.
14 points, decent shooting, 6 rebounds, 2 assists, 4 blocks. No Blake.
Nah. And I did put there, like, let's have a chat about Thon. We kind of covered Thon a little bit. It's kind
We've
of
covered that.
It's a mess of a team.
Postseason, I'm going to watch a lot of Thon postseason.
I hope they get there. Yeah, I want them to get there.
I hope they get down the line. But you'd think with the Hornets, I think, playing Miami as well. I think the last game the Hornets played Miami. 76ers playing Miami.
Yeah, it's like a...
I don't know, because the 76ers could just tank the last 2 games and play no one. Play TJ starting and give everyone a rest.
For Miami.
Yeah, because they've qualified. The Celtics cannot...
Yeah, so they're in that third spot.
They're in that third spot.
Yeah,
Celtics. So Celtics cannot take that third spot, which means that they've got that home court advantage. So I don't see them playing many minutes for these guys. It might just be a bit of a warm-up. Anyway...
Heat, Celtics, Bainesy, 25 minutes. That was good. 4 points, 3 offensive boards, 8 defensive boards, 11 total, 1 block plus 3. Kyrie had 25, Horford 19. We covered some Celtics. They look like, just stumbling in there. Hayward hopefully can dig them out of a hole. Portland, so that was when Mitch Creek signed. He had a DMP on his first night. Man, I kind of wish he was playing for the
Long Island Nets.
Man.
Yeah, I'd rather play the postseason.
A bit of a waste of
Again,
time.
it is a cash cow. For the 10-day contract, they're paid something like $60,000 US.
Yeah.
So he's only paid, I think, $45,000.
Yeah, I looked it up. I think it was about 56 or 46 or 58 or something like that.
He's had 3 10-day contracts, which is made his wage over there somewhat worthwhile, because his G League salary would only be 50,000 Aussie for the season. So I think a little bit more because he gets some international rights, or they pay him a little bit more in the G League. So he's had his 3. I mean, it's a 10-day contract that's almost the same amount as your entire G League season. You're going to take it, just to sit on a bench.
Plus, it's gateway stuff too. Like
and it's networking. He may get picked up next year, may not, but I think he definitely should be. He's earned his place. But we'll move on to the 76ers.
And the Nets, the Long Island Nets did win their first game of that series against the Rapids or Grand Rapids or whoever the fuck it is. Houston, I think it is. 76ers Mavs. The 76ers chunked in this game. This looked like we made it, fuck it.
Yeah, pretty much. It's just like, we're not taking this seriously. And Brett Brown was like, oh yeah, whatever. No one cared, no Embiid. It was all good. Let's
broke
move
off
on.
at 16 minutes. He played quite well, 7 points.
7 points, 5 rebounds. Hornets Jazz. Good in for the Jazz.
Yeah, they're just on a tear, man. Yes. They're looking really good. Kemba again, 47 points.
Lamb, 20. The rest, shunkerific.
Hawks Spurs. This is where Humpho. We should talk a little bit quickly about Humpho.
Yeah, Humpho finally got his debut. 4 points, 5 rebounds, 1 steal plus 1.
Yeah, it looks raw, very raw, man.
He is raw. He's 2 seasons out. One with the Kings for 28 games. He's played. He was injured for a lot of the mid-season in the G League, so he's only played 60-odd professional games. Can shoot the 3-ball. Could put the ball on the floor. Yeah,
I was watching the when they come back out to warm up, and he was shooting threes in the corner. He was just airball 2 of them, bricked like 3 of them. I was like, oh no, it's not a good look. I think it was against the Timberwolves.
You also would be very nervous if you first start playing in the NBA. This is what you've kind of worked your whole life to do. You know, at least he's getting a run and some cash, which is good
for sure. But he looked so good in the G League. It was kind of like weighted gi type shit where. Comes to the G League, it's just like, fuck, I'll just run right here, like sweet, and off the dribble, like coming, like posting up on smaller guys and just trying. And then when you come into the NBA, it's a totally different kettle of fish.
I mean, even Alex Len's gonna fucking give you a run for your money.
Like Humphrey does look a little bit like, shit, I'm on the big stage here, guys, so I can't fuck it up, and it looks like he hasn't grown into the weight of expectations of that sort of shit yet. So hopefully that comes in the next couple of weeks.
Definitely.
And the final Nugs, we got their Nugs Warriors blockbuster. Man, the Nuggets, we'll just rag on them a little bit more. They looked fucking awful in this game. Like, really awful. Like,
they're an awful team. They're just how they've got to 50-odd win postseason, second in the West.
It's a worry. I don't know. I just don't know. I can't put my finger on what it is, but it's a worry for them, man. That's because Boogie just destroyed Jokic, man. For a guy in Boogie who you would not think is a very fit guy. Made Jokic look like a bum, man. It was fucking like shit.
He's gassed. He's like LeBron last season, end of season gas.
Scary, man. Fuck.
They're not going to get there. They'll be bundled out first round.
That's a big call, man.
Bundled out first round.
I think making it out of the first round for them is a success, no matter what.
Yeah, exactly. But I don't think they'll get there.
But for where they've finished second in the West. Anything less than a Western Conference final, I think, is a disappointment for them, for their season they've had.
Yes, and like, I don't think that their team is quite there yet. Still very raw, young.
They've got to go through the fire like the Bucks.
Yeah, they've got to go through the fire like the Warriors, man. The Warriors went through the fire to get there. They're a fantastic...
That was 2 seasons they had too. It was they went out to the Spurs after beating the Nuggets, and then they went out to the Clippers in the first round the year before they won it. So this is what I mean. Like, you got to go through a lot of shit before you get there.
That's it. But
fuck their commentators. They're the worst.
Yeah, that's terrible.
any chance to get that dig in, and I'm fucking happy to get that in. It was a marathon. We got through it. We're back. So
we'll be back later this week to wrap up all the games, give you a preview of the playoffs, what we think, and then we're going to also be back next week wrapping up Dallas' season and the Cavs.
The Cavs, yeah.
Cavs
they'll be short pods, won't they?
Yeah, pretty much. Delhi came, he conquered for a little bit, and then he got
good,
concussed.
And then he got concussed and then disappeared. And then Dingadell, I guess we can talk about him too. Yeah, but there's a lot going on, man. So many different people.
13 Aussies, mate.
It's crazy.
It's funny, someone commented, the Aussies aren't really taking over the NBA. Might as well be. There's 13 of us in there now. We're the most highly represented nation in the NBA outside of the USA. So that's pretty cool for a country that has 8 professional basketball teams playing 28-game seasons.
Yeah, and like one of the worst leagues on the planet.
Indeed. All right, guys, remember to like, share, and subscribe. Like us on Facebook. I'm going to share this a bit later, but look forward to your company next time.
Yes. Take it easy, everyone.
Peace.
See you next time.